Hey everyone! Welcome to today's live chat with our very special guest, Ariyana, a star child. Her book, Light Atonement, takes readers on a very enlightening and unusual journey and gives readers a glimpse into her awakening of extraordinary spiritual powers and presences. Ariyana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you for having me.
We're really thrilled to speak with you today and learn all about your story. And today we will be giving away a copy of Light Atonement, and we also have beautiful crystals, which are programmed by Ariyana herself. So stop by BookTrib.com after the chat and enter to win. And so, Ariyana, before we begin the viewer questions, can you tell us a little bit more about your book, Light Atonement?
Sure. So I wrote this book as my memoir. So it was my life story from my childhood in Japan to coming to US, built the business and went on a spiritual journey and connected with my star family from the other, like, seventh dimension, and how I started to channel them. So that was meant to be the memoir, but as I write more, it became more of a spiritual book because there's so much that I learned through my journey that I wanted to share with people. And after I finished the book, it also took another twist because I decided to put a reflection section after each chapter where readers are going to go through their life and look back and see what they have learned, what they're going to learn, what they're going to do. So this is also a self-help book. So people can, each reader will get something different from my book, what they need to learn from my book. And also they're going to have a just new sense of like their responsibility, what they need to do moving forward from here.
That's fantastic. So it's memoir and reflection and just self-help all in one. So it's really interesting. I love the journey part of the book and just hearing about, your whole story. What was it like moving from Japan to the U.S. at such a young age? What was that experience like?
Well, it was really exciting because, when I was young, it still is for many people in America, in the world, that U.S. is like a country of dream. Anything you want to do, you can accomplish. So I was 18, I was ready to move here, and, I want to just be somebody. So, which I did that. I moved here at 18, built my business. So many things I've accomplished I couldn't have done living in Japan. So for that, but I was just really excited. So that was
absolutely.
something that comes up to my mind.
Yeah. Now, what is the meaning behind the title Light Atonement? How did you decide on that title for the book?
Well, Light Atonement, the title was given to me by my star family. They say that, they come from the seventh dimension. So where seventh dimension, everything is done by light and light frequency. So the meaning of Light Atonement is fixing the problems on this planet and reversing the damage we have caused through light frequency. So that's the meaning of it.
Awesome. So interesting. Now, I just thought of, I know that you're a consultant too. You consult people and help them with problems. And you give them spiritual advice. Do you also ever give them advice on their careers? I know that you are an entrepreneur. So what's that like? Just telling them about things like that.
Yeah. So my consultation, I do some from my experience. I have I have a business background, and I'm a parent, and I do different things. So, but mainly I channel my star family. So they will come up with the questions, and I will channel my star family, and they will help them to move forward to the next step. That they will know exactly what they need. So.
Now, Rosie has a question here, and it's something important, I think, that we can all, learn from. She wants to know, what is one thing that all of humankind can do to make a difference?
To be kind. To be kind yourself first, and to be kind to others. Because if we commit to do that one thing, but if everybody does it, the whole world is going to change right away.
Right. And you need to find it in yourself first, which is most important.
Right.
Now, Bren has a question just about energy, and she says, "Can you give us advice on dealing with bad energy around you? Like how can you kind of let it bounce off of
Mhm.
you and not absorb that bad energy?"
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is if you know you're gonna face the bad energy, the best thing is you do protect yourself in the morning. Just
Hmm.
there are many different, meditations or, things you can do, but just be, for me, the easiest thing is just being in this white bubble, just, and say, no negativity can come through here.
Yeah.
It's whatever the negativity comes goes back to them,
Hmm.
and just you do the protection. That would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think more people need to do that. And I think the
Yeah.
morning time is such a good time for that when you're open and most kind of aware and you haven't started the day
Mhm.
yet. Now,
Mhm.
are there any other mantras or sayings that you kind of say to yourself every day just to kind of, find your peace and?
No, I don't, but throughout the day, I
Mhm.
connect with my breath, meaning, just I would take a conscious
Mhm.
breath in and out and just
Mhm.
center myself.
Yeah.
So, I'll do that, often. So, I don't just spin out of my body and, living in the past or the future, or just be
Right.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Bridget has an interesting question. She says, "Were there any signs that you would become a channeler and a healer when you were younger? Is there anything you can look back on and you say, huh, like that's strange, or was it a total shock to you?"
I always felt that I was a little bit different, but
Hmm.
I never thought I would channel or, just being on a spiritual path for that matter. I didn't really think about that at all.
Yeah. Now, Taylor has an interesting question. She wants to know what's an indigo child, and she said, "I've heard you describe your son as an indigo child. Can you explain that?"
Hmm. Yeah, so indigo child or indigo children, they are children that, who were born into this earth, remembering parts of where, what they did in the past, where they come
Oh,
from,
wow.
or their destiny.
Mhm.
So if they could become the leader of this, in this earth using their special skill. But
Oh,
at the
wow.
same time, many indigo children are misunderstood because,
Mhm.
they could see different things, but their perception is different than most babies or children. So what's important is, I think more and more so, there are more indigo children are coming into the earth. So we kind of like let them let them be, and just let them be the same. You don't have to code their special skills. So, but
Yeah.
more people are understanding this now. So it's gonna be more and more that these children can speak up and say what they can see, what they know. That's gonna help us, humans, go into the right directions as well.
Mhm. Heather wants to know, does anyone else in your family possess this, any spiritual powers other than
Hmm.
your son?
Let's see. Well, my son and I are one and the same, so we're twin souls. So yeah, we both
Mhm.
have the similar skills. Um, I know my daughter is very, very connected, but
Mhm.
not necessarily have the same skills. I think we all have just different parts of our psyche open. So, we all have different things that we can do. My
Mhm.
sister in Japan, she's the closest person on this earth.
Mhm.
She's different from the other side, and we have a very, very deep connection. And
Oh,
not
okay.
that she's spiritual or anything, but we're deeply, deeply connected.
Interesting. Um, Now, I know that you've worked with a lot of other channelers,
Mhm.
and different people in that area. What's like the best advice that they've ever given you when you were working with them and learning from them?
Oh, I guess I guess there's so many,
Yeah.
advices and things I have
Mhm.
received, but basically, wherever you are or wherever I was exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Mm,
There is no
that's
shortcut.
excellent.
There is no, I'm not doing it because I don't need to learn something. Everything has a meaning. So that was, to me, that gave me like kind of like, because spiritual journey is discouraging because you feel like there's nothing going on, and it's not like you can grab onto this is what I learned and this is what I know, because it goes
Mm-hmm.
on and on and on. But if you know that you are moving forward
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you're gonna be, it just know whatever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be.
That's the best advice anyone could give, I think.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, Heather has a great question. She says, does everyone have a star family, or is it just certain people?
Yeah, well, my star family says not many people on this earth have star lineage.
Mm-hmm.
So I call it, star family and star connection because I'm from the other planet. But
Right.
not many people have that. So
Now, Rosie has another question that I think would be, something you'd find in your reflection part of your book. She says, how can you find the goodness in everyone, even people who it's hard to to get along with? How can you find that in everyone?
yeah, you see, I think some people it's easier to show the goodness, and some
Yeah.
people they have a harder time. But we can't
Hmm.
judge them because we don't know how they were brought up or what their lessons in this life. Sometimes
Exactly.
one learns entire lesson on this earth being a really bad person. But
Hmm.
the chances are we have done that in the past. You see my
Hmm.
point? So we cannot
Yeah.
judge just because somebody's evil. Maybe because
Right.
his soul need to learn his lesson through being evil on this lifetime. You see my
Hmm.
point? So if you see
Hmm.
that, it's because for me, everybody's here to be learning their lessons, and we cannot judge good or bad against duality. It's one side of the coin. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. Louisa wants to know, where do you draw your strength and inspiration from? On days when you're not, feeling your best. Where do you draw your
I don't,
inspiration?
I don't, I want to stay in bed all day sometimes. But I'll just gather myself, usually when I feel really bad and, discouraged, that's when I'm disconnected with my soul and my body.
Mhm.
So usually, again, I'll take a deep breath and really connect and just realize, I'm just a
Yeah.
part of this whole universe. Just whatever I'm going through is what I need to go through right now, but that doesn't define who I am, or that doesn't mean it's not gonna change. Just to
Right.
know, this everything moves here. That we're
Yes.
part of big universe. That it's gonna get better, and just don't push
Mhm.
away. Even just accept it. Accept you're not feeling well today. Accept you're discouraged, but
Exactly.
it's okay. So just give
Mhm.
yourself okay. You're gonna be fine.
Mhm. Now back to light atonement. Jared has a question. How long did it take you to write about your journey? Was it years? Did you kind of do like a quick, draft of it and come up with the whole journey, or was it like a long process?
Well, actually, I wrote more than half the book in 1 week.
Oh
I
wow,
just sat down and
impressive.
said, "This is what I'm going to do," and I wrote like 2, 3 chapters a day. That's
Wow.
what I did.
Oh
And
wow.
so, entire book probably took me 3 months to write it.
Mhm. Very
And
impressive.
yeah, and then for the reflection sections was even shorter because I just decided one weekend, you know what, I'm gonna do reflection sections. But
Yeah.
this is my first book and this is about my life. So I was
Right.
probably planning this all of my life anyway, you see my point? So,
Exactly. So it was a little
so
easier.
yeah, I
So
think so. Yeah.
yeah. Um, do you talk about, how your practice is different from like a religion? Is there anything about
Mhm.
that in the book?
It's not in the book, but what I what I do for myself and tell others is all the answers is inside of you. Like
Mhm.
many religions, they expect you to follow somebody else's ideas or you need to do certain things to be better. But
Yeah.
what I teach people is everything, all the answers is inside of you. Search inside, not from the outside. That's my
Right.
biggest difference between religion and what I believe to be true.
Right. Now we're giving away these beautiful crystals with the book, and we were talking a little bit about it before. I love learning about gems and crystals and what the meanings are behind them. And what is it about crystals? They're a vehicle for energy. What is it about them that's so powerful for anyone who might be curious?
Sure. So each crystal have different property, and
Mm-hmm.
they vibrate in certain frequencies
Right.
constantly. So
Mm-hmm.
when our human bodies are out of balance, by having the crystal close to you, so
Mm-hmm.
that frequency gonna help stabilize our energy. That's
Yeah.
why, like, say for crystal healings, different, crystal you put in different chakras, so that's
Exactly.
gonna align to that. So for me, crystals are more of, how do you call it? Maybe like a stabilizer.
Yeah.
When I'm out of balance, I hold a crystal, or I'm inside the crystal grid, my balance gets restored.
Mm-hmm. And you can also cleanse crystals, I think, with like magnetite, don't they? Yeah. Very
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, so
And
there's a
I
way to even
usually, yeah, I
go ahead.
usually put all of my crystal program into my amethyst. I have a huge amethyst in my meditation room,
Oh,
and I rest
beautiful.
them inside amethyst for a week, and then I
Oh,
start
wow.
program after that. So
Oh, amazing. Now, when was it that you realized that you had healing powers? That's a question from Billy. What was that experience like?
it was really just out of blue that I was channeling my star beings, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if many of you might have heard my channeling. You can find it on YouTube and my website.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking this, language, light language, which is just totally not out of this earth.
Yeah.
My hands just started to move. And I'm like, what am I doing? And
Mm-hmm.
they told me that I'm working on the universal grid where I can give healing.
Oh, wow.
So, and so my friend and I are like, okay, let's try it. And I sent healing to somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
3 hours later, I got a call and said, oh my God, you saved my life.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and that's when
That's
I
amazing.
knew that I have
Yeah.
a healing ability. But they did also tell me maybe a month before that happened that when I was sleeping at night, the energy is coming out of my hand and
Oh,
going to people
wow.
who need energy. So they have kind of warned me that my energy, my healing ability has awoken. So,
Wow.
but
Now,
they also said though, all of us do have healing powers.
mm-hmm.
We forgot. So one of the lessons, one of the teachings I want to do here is we have to reawaken that we all have healer energy inside of us,
Yeah.
so we can connect to that.
Wow. How would we reawaken that energy? Are there some tips that you can give people who might be interested in kind of getting into that?
I think first thing first is just to connect to your soul, which is, to me, connect your soul is like connect to your heart, lead
Mm-hmm.
from your heart, so that, because everything, as I said, all the answers are inside of you. So as you
Yeah.
connect more to yourself and to your soul, I think everything starts to open up. Your intuition will open up more, your
Mm-hmm.
healing power will open up more, because that's where, the disconnect is, that we're not connected, so we feel we're going to need everything from outside. When you
Mm-hmm.
realize, when you connect and you realize that everything you need to have or you need to know is inside of us, that's when the key, just doors open up for you.
Yeah. And now, are you able to tell if someone's in pain or they're sick, like even before they tell you? Can you kind of see, you can see their energy as well, kind of radiating?
um like, say, it's different for certain people. I'm like a clear sentient where I know things. So
Yeah.
I do feel somebody's, in need of, or somebody, I look at somebody and say, well, that person need this. But for
Yeah.
somebody like Kyle, my friend, who is a clairvoyant, he would
Mm-hmm.
see the light in the places where something is ill. So if somebody has a heart disease, the heart will light up.
Right.
So,
Now, Kyle, you just mentioned, Taylor wants to know, when you speak in light language, she says your psychic friend Kyle translates, and she wants to know, are you connected to Kyle on other planes and other realities, past lives? Is it, you have other
mhm.
connections with him?
Yes, I
Very
have. I mean,
interesting relationship.
we have worked, in many different planes and different past lives, and even now, like if you read my book, you'll know at night I'm out of my body and walking on the other side. We call it the
Yeah.
other side, but not on this earth, and I'll walk with him over there. But he's
Mhm.
also out of his body, and so
Yeah.
yes, definitely we're walking on different levels.
Yeah. Where did you guys meet? How did you meet Kyle?
Well, it was actually my girlfriend just called me up one day and said, "You got to meet this interesting person. Oh my God." So I was like, "Okay, I'll try." So it was, in a way, it was accidental, but you and me both know nothing is accident in this life. We're supposed to meet.
Exactly.
And if I didn't meet him through her, I would have probably met through somebody else.
Right. Now, Bridget wants to know where and how can people meet you in person? Like, how can they maybe set up a consultation with you?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a website they can go to?
Yes. So my website is at starchild.com. And in there is just many different services I do. I do consultation. I write blog every Friday
Yep.
where people can just learn, like, just my blog's title is, like, the big title is Ariyana's Journey to Wholeness.
Mhm.
So everyone can just go there, read it, and just learn to kind of let go of all the baggage you're carrying and to become whole. So the best place to go is starchild.com,
Mhm.
and I have a YouTube channel, and a lot of
Great.
people ask me questions through Facebook,
Yeah.
so you can find all that in my website.
Excellent. Um, Now, Shelley wants to know, is there ever a time where you meet someone and you find that you have trouble working with them because they have a bad aura or a vibe, or are you, able to kind of work through that?
Um, it goes both ways. Sometimes if I don't have to be related to that person, you know,
Mhm.
sometimes best thing is just disassociate. But if it's
Yeah.
somebody that you need to work with, you do not have a
Mhm.
choice. So, I mean, I work with energy, or, just finding out what's bothering inside of me
Mhm.
for that person, because it might not be personal. It might not be about that person. It could be something I carried from different, lifetime, or some ancestor stuff. So
Right.
I'll look inside of me first to try to work with the energy, and
Yeah.
then if that person still is not working, it may just have to have talk with them and said, look, right,
Yeah.
I'm feeling this. What can we do to work with this? Because I'm
Mhm.
very open. So,
Right.
you know.
Um, we talked about past people you've worked with, and healers and just influencers. Who are some people that taught you kind of about this that you look up to, or is there anyone that comes to mind that influences
Oh
you?
my God. Not influences me in a way, but I have met many, many, many different healers who all have very unique gifts. I
Yeah.
haven't seen two healers who does exactly the same thing. So some healers
Yeah.
are really good at cutting the cords through, you. Some healers are
That's
good at,
amazing.
yeah, helping you see, just move forward faster than,
Yeah.
when you're walking here. So, I just had so many, just so many teachers and healers who I learned so much from. But
Mhm.
I do not have one. And I also don't believe that one teacher is your teacher for the rest of your life, because
Mhm.
everybody will come into your life and they have some lesson to teach you. But I believe that you will learn from different, teachers, that what you need to learn from.
Yeah. Very wise words. Um, Louisa has a very interesting question. She says, if you could go back in time, would you change anything?
No, what? I can easily say no. I won't change anything. Of course, I have things I would, do differently, because what? As a human being, we make a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
You know, and
Yeah.
but I'm also know if I do change in the past, but I won't be the same right now,
Right.
and I
Exactly.
do not regret being here right now.
Mhm.
So everything
Yeah.
was a lesson. So for that, I would say no, I wouldn't change anything, but I wish I could.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. And that has a lot to do, you mentioned, regret. How do you kind of help people who are dealing with a lot of regret and remorse? What do you tell them to kind of get through that difficult part of their life?
Yeah. I think first is forgiveness. I think people are
Mm-hmm.
so hard on themselves, because
Yeah,
it's easy for, someone to forgive others, but it's very hard for people to forgive themselves. So, but
exactly.
without forgiving yourself 100%, you really cannot,
Mm-hmm.
your heart is not going to open completely. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what? Every day, if it's going to take every day, keep telling yourself every day, you did best you could, and I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for like a month.
Oh,
And so
wow.
for me, I have no regret. Yeah, you know what? I did things I shouldn't have done. But you know what? I did the best I could at that time. That's all we
Mm-hmm.
could do. So let go of the past because you cannot change the past. So forgive yourself, move on, and
Mm-hmm.
you learn the lesson. So you won't do the same again.
Right. Just need to move on and keep going. Absolutely. Um, what are some things that you do just to relax and unwind and just when you're not meeting with your clients and channeling, how do you kind of just relax? Is there any other things you like to
No,
do?
I'm same as anyone else. I watch movies and I escape from
Mm-hmm.
my body and my mind.
Yeah.
So, and I like to play with my dog and just
Mm-hmm.
be in nature, things just
Yeah,
outside of my brain because we spend way too
exactly.
much time thinking. So just let it go out, have fun. Because without
Mm-hmm.
having fun, your creativity will shut down. So, you
Exactly.
know,
Mm-hmm. You need a balance, absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
hmm
now, a question that I just thought of. Now, your star family, I don't think you ever like said what they look like. Is there like a way to describe them? Do they look like
You
a certain
know,
way? Are they
you see,
light or?
they, again, as I said, seventh dimension, everything is in light frequency. So they can
Mm-hmm.
turn into whatever they want to look
They
like.
want.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, they look like alien. But they say only reason I see
Interesting.
them as alien is because I'm from there. So through aliens' eyes, they look
Oh.
alien. But from humans' eyes, they could look like an angel with wings. You see my point? So
Oh,
because they can
wow.
transform themselves into anything. So whatever you want to perceive, that's how they're gonna come out.
Oh, wow. That's
So
crazy. I
I
love it.
know, I know.
Now, you also talk about angels in the book. Can you tell us a little more about
Mhm.
that? Just your angel.
My guardian
Are they
angels?
different? Yeah.
My guardian, and so what I was told is, you know, all of us, all humans on
Mhm.
this earth have one or two guardian angels who stays with you the
Mhm.
entire lifetime.
Mhm.
So I have a guardian angel and he's been with me and I've met him once. Um,
Mhm.
but they cannot really interfere with your life, but they're kind of there to kind of, just keep you company and watching you
Mhm.
over. So we all have
Yeah.
that.
Do they give advice to you, or is it really just they
Um,
just are there?
Well, he does because he could speak with, Kyle the
Mhm.
Guardian Angel and,
Mhm.
or other people that who can translate. But most people do not have the communication, but some do, because I
Mhm.
was told all the Guardian Angels come try to see you when you are
Yeah.
young, but we all run
Oh.
away, so we don't get connected. But if you do look back and connect, that's when you can speak with the Guardian Angel.
Oh, that's
But I missed the
interesting.
chance when I was young.
Yeah. Well, they say children are very connected to the spiritual world, and they might be
hmm
thinking it's a ghost, but it's really their angel. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, now, do you have any ideas for any upcoming books? Do you think that you would write another book on another topic that you've experienced?
Um, Actually, people have been asking me to write the second book of like Atonement. They want to know what happened because I have a few things left open. So I
Oh,
think the
you do.
continuation of the book should be coming. But
Right.
the blog I'm writing, I think that's going to turn into a book because that's more of like a life learning meditation for the all of your life. So I think meditation book is going to be probably my next book. And then somewhere
Oh,
in the
excellent.
line, continuation of Light Atonement, I would like to write that.
Oh, amazing. Now, you mentioned your meditation room, and you said that's where you like to cleanse your crystals. I think you said you had amethyst. So can you tell us kind of a little bit about your meditation room? I'd love to hear about it. Well, it sounds beautiful.
My meditation room has many crystals.
Yeah.
But I just moved not too long ago, so it's not I used to have a really big room with a whole, meditation room, but now I have a small meditation room where I can sit in the middle, and it's a very powerful room because of all the crystals. Some of them has been with me everywhere I traveled, and so they carry the energy, and they have seen me go through this spiritual journey for the last 10 years to 5 years. So they are kind of like my family.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And you mentioned too, like doing meditation in the morning. Do you always stick to it in the morning, or do you ever feel like middle of the day you might need to go and meditate?
Oh, you know what? When I first started, it was important for me to have set time, because otherwise I wouldn't do it, right? So, but after like meditating for a long, a few years, it's something more like whenever I need it, I'll go and meditate. So that's what I do. So I could meditate sometimes at night, sometimes I meditate in the morning, just whenever I feel like I need it.
Awesome. Now, last question, because we ran out of time. See, it goes by really fast. I wanted to know, for someone who maybe isn't in touch with their spiritual side, what advice would you give them, to kind of just make small steps to start, like, going within and kind of connecting to their soul?
I think just, again, the best thing is just connect to your heart. So would that be, for me, it's like breathing in and out and just connect to that. But for some people, it could be singing out loud. For some people, it's gardening. But whatever you think that you feel like you are out of your small self and connected to the universe, just do that often. Do that often. If that's just being with a child and play with them, because when you are truly happy and connected, that's why I tell you to do that, often and again, and then you will be connected more easily.
Yeah. So find what makes your soul really shine. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us again, Ariyana. It was wonderful. And I just want everyone to know that we're giving away a copy of Light Atonement and Healing Crystals on BookTrib.com. And thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.